Confident memory is not the same as accurate memory. Beat. Here's how one verb, in one question, changed what people thought they saw in a crash film. And why I vividly remember is not a receipt. We treat vivid memories like video files. Hit play, the past replays, clean, faithful, done. That belief feels comforting. It is also how people dig into workplace fights, family myths, and viral everyone knows stories without asking whether the footage was ever real. There's a social cost. The more certain you sound, the more other people treat your story as the official record. A confident narrator can win an argument before anyone opens a calendar. A polished anecdote can go viral before anyone asks for a source. And there's an inner cost. Once you feel sure, you stop looking. Curiosity dies at the exact moment you need it most. This is Mystery of Mind. We are not here to tell you your whole life is fake. We're here to show how memory rebuilds and why confidence, detail, and emotion are not a receipt. Educational psychology only, not therapy, not medical advice, not legal advice for jurors or case strategy. If trauma or memory distress is live for you, that belongs with a qualified professional, not a YouTube video. Elizabeth Loftus and John Palmer ran a now-classic lab study. Participants watched films of traffic accidents. Then they answered questions about what they'd seen. With one careful twist. Some people were asked how fast the cars were going when they smashed into each other. Others heard hit. Other verbs showed up too: collided, bumped, contacted. But the headline contrast is the harsh verb versus the milder one. People who heard smashed gave higher speed estimates than people who heard hit. Same film, different question word, different memory of speed. Pause on that. Nobody changed the footage. Nobody swapped the cars. The language after the event nudged what people reconstructed about speed. That alone already breaks the video file story. The question wasn't only measuring what they stored. It was feeding information back into the reconstruction. Here's the uncomfortable part for everyday life. Most of our replays don't happen in a quiet lab with one carefully controlled sentence. They happen in group chats, news captions, and friends who swear they were there. If a lab can do that with one carefully chosen verb, imagine what a week of group chat can do. Friends finishing each other's sentences, filling gaps, agreeing on a shared version until the edges match. In a follow-up, participants were asked whether they had seen any broken glass. There was no broken glass in the film. People who'd heard smashed were more likely to say yes, that they'd seen glass, than people who'd heard a milder verb. One word after the event. A detail that never existed. Spoken aloud as if it had been on screen. Sit with how wild that is. The mind didn't just round the speed up a little. It recruited a new object into the scene, something that fits a smash story better than a hit story. That's not a magic trick. That's post-event information sliding into a memory that was still being written. And the people who said yes weren't performing. Soft claim. They were reporting what their reconstruction now felt like it contained. Elizabeth Loftus has framed this plainly for public audiences. Memory often behaves less like a frozen recording and more like a Wikipedia page, something that can be edited, updated, and quietly overwritten when new wording, new suggestions, or new stories arrive. You don't watch the cursor blink while it edits. You just feel the new version settle in and call it what I saw. Schemas fill gaps. Expectations fill gaps. The language of a question fills gaps. What you rehearse with friends fills gaps. Even your own retelling can sand the rough parts until the story feels cleaner than the original moment. Think about the last argument you retold 3 times. Did the quote get sharper? Did your motive get nobler? Did their tone get worse? That's reconstruction wearing the costume of certainty. Soft claim, said carefully. This does not mean every memory is false or that you should distrust yourself forever. It means certainty is a feeling the brain sells alongside the story, not a lab stamp of accuracy. We stay with published lab findings and general memory science here. We are not going to re-diagnose your childhood, claim that your trauma was planted, or enter recovered memory culture war theater. That lane is closed. Now stack a second lever, the availability heuristic. Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman described how people often estimate how common or likely something is by how easily examples come to mind. If the news cycle feeds you vivid crashes, rare crimes, or dramatic medical stories, those images become easy to recall. Easy to recall starts to feel like frequent, even when the base rate is quieter than the footage. Your brain is not evil for this. It's thrifty. Under uncertainty, it answers, how common with how available. That shortcut works often enough in daily life that we stop noticing it is a shortcut. Same brain habit as the car crash wording. What arrives easily, a verb, a headline, a rehearsed story, shapes what feels true. This is why I can picture it so clearly, is a weak accuracy certificate. Clarity can be emotional rehearsal. It can be a clip you saw twice. It can be a story you retold until the edges polished themselves. It can even be a detail you absorbed from someone else's description and then forgot you ever borrowed. Soft claim. Availability does not rewrite every probability judgment on Earth. It is one bias among many. Today, it is the second half of the episode. Reconstructive memory and easy-to-recall examples. 2 ways sure gets louder than checked. Scene 1. A couple replaying a fight. Both are sure. Both have colors, quotes, timestamps. Both swear the other is rewriting history. Maybe someone is lying. Soft claim. Maybe you're both reconstructing under different verbs of self-defense, and confidence is loud on both sides. Scene 2. A workplace post-mortem. I vividly remember you approving that slide. Nobody opens the email thread. Emotion fills the gap where a document should be. Scene 3. A feed full of one hazard. You start overestimating how common it is, not because you did the math, but because the examples are available. The fear feels data-backed. Often, it's footage-backed. Scene 4. A short that explains a psychology fact with one dramatic percentage and no study name. You remember the percentage. You forget the missing methods. Later, you repeat both, as if the percentage had a citation behind it. That's the modern version of the smash verb. Tidy language arriving after the event, then wearing the costume of something you always knew. None of these scenes require a villain. They require a brain that edits, plus a culture that rewards confident narration. 3 habits. No conspiracy tone. 1. Corroborate when it matters. Texts, receipts, calendars, a second witness. Not because you're cold, because high stakes deserve more than a vivid feeling. 2. Ask how the memory was rehearsed. Did you retell it 10 times? Did a friend fill in details? Did a question smuggle a verb? Rehearsal can polish fiction and fact alike. 3. Downgrade confidence plus detail plus emotion as proof. Those ingredients make a memory feel real. Eyewitness confidence is an imperfect indicator of accuracy. Careful reviews in the memory and law literature keep returning to that caution. Soft claim only. Confidence is a signal worth noticing, not a verdict. And yes, soft bridge, normal reconstructive errors can look like they're lying from the outside. That is not a license to diagnose gaslighting from a single mismatch story. Separate topics. Stay curious. Hard stops for this episode. We do not reinterpret your personal trauma on camera. We do not give clinical advice or rewrite your past coaching. We do not give legal strategy for jurors, cases, or accusations. We do not invent percentages about wrongful convictions or how many memories are false. If a number isn't sourced, it gets cut. Classic lab findings, general memory science, Daily life awareness. That's the lane. Soft ask. Did a vivid memory of yours ever get proven wrong by a photo, a recording, a receipt? Someone else's boring evidence? Comment if you're willing. No trauma dumps required. One sentence is enough. And if this made you distrust a too clean I saw it feeling, stay with mystery of mind. Next episodes, stay in the hidden mind lane. Patterns and shortcuts that feel like common sense. Until you name them. Curiosity over certainty. Always.